Okay, so let's take a look at this page. As you can see, I've already highlighted a couple of words, District of Columbia and minority, that I want us to take a look at. Just to remind you how to do that, you use your highlighting tool and you can highlight the different words. So I just clicked right here and I clicked on the words to highlight them. And I click the X up here. So I'm going to take a look at the picture. I see the Statue of Liberty and New York behind her. And then I'm going to take a look at the caption that explains what the picture is about. The Statue of Liberty overlooks New York City's harbor. New York is the largest city in the nation. So this water right here is New York City's harbor. A harbor is where you can see ships and boats come in and they bring different goods and services to the people in that city and beyond. Okay, so New York is the largest city in the nation. So New York City is the largest city in our country. Okay, so I just want you to think about that as well. Okay, so we're going to read this page and then I'll explain to you what they are talking about. The Northeast also includes the 5 mid-Atlantic states and the District of Columbia, home to the nation's capital, and cities and industries dominate here, especially near the Atlantic coast. Beyond the cities and their suburbs are wooded hills and farms. People have come to the mid-Atlantic region from every part of the world. The population today includes descendants of early European settlers as well as later arrivals. African Americans are the largest minority, followed by Hispanic and Asian Americans. So, when we were taking a look at our first page, our introductory page, and we looked at that map, it talked about the Northeast, and we just read about New England. But I want us to go back to that page to notice that the Northeast, let's go back one more page. The Northeast, I'm going to use that zoom in tool, is 2 different sections. So in this light green section, we have the 6 states in New England. And in this darker green section, we have the mid-Atlantic states, which includes DC. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So those states would include New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, and Washington, D.C. Okay, so there's 2 different parts of the Northeast. There's the New England part, which is where we live, and then there's the mid-Atlantic part. So all of these green states together make up the region that's known as the Northeast. All right, so if we go back to that page, a couple more pages right here, let's take a look at this first paragraph and explain it. So in this part, in the mid-Atlantic states, cities and industries dominate. Dominate means to take over. That's the majority of what is in these parts. Okay, there's big cities. We have New York City. There's some big cities in New Jersey as well, like Newark and things like that. But in New York, which is the state where New York City is, there are suburbs. Suburbs are smaller towns and cities where people live. Okay, and that's the same thing in the rest of the Mid-Atlantic states. All right, so let's take a look at these words that we've highlighted. District of Columbia. Let's put a sticky note on those. I kind of gave you a hint, but I wanted you to remember that District of Columbia can be abbreviated as capital D, period, capital C, period. And my goodness, it's located in Washington, D.C., okay, which is our nation's capital. All right, and then I wanted to take a look at this word minority. I was just talking about this word minority in a different context when I said that cities and industries dominate. To dominate means that there's more than something else, more than the majority. I use the word majority. So the word minority is the opposite of majority. Majority means the most of, and minority would mean the least of. So in this context, a minority is the smallest number of people, right? So they are saying that African Americans, Hispanics and Asian Americans are the minority in the United States. Okay, so that's what that means. Okay, but in this paragraph, it says that people have come to the Mid Atlantic region from every part of the world, and that's very true. If you go to New York, if you go to Boston, even to where we live in Springfield, you see people from all over the world, and that's very common to see in places like the Northeast region. All right, so that finishes that chapter for today. What I want you to do as an assignment is I want you to come down here and click on the Think More button. And that's going to bring up some questions for you, some multiple choice questions, and I think it has a writing question. I'm not going to click on it for you here because it will give you the answers, and I want you to do this on your own. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me, and you can find my email address on that PowerPoint slide that you're working on. Have a good day.